Hey guys, welcome back to episode number 7, I believe. In the last episode, we did set up a basic inventory system where we can also just pick up when we just run over it. We just pick it up automatically, which is something like we're running around in the world and automatically we pick up these cubes. So we are going to fix that by picking up stuff manually. Let's just start. So let me just get this content drawer here and third person, input, actions. Let's get the last one, which in this case is IA for input action underscore inventory. Duplicate this and let's just replace the inventory naming convention to something like interaction. So you can also use this one when we open that one up. You can also use this one for opening doors or something like this. So like this is like the base interaction button. So make sure the trigger index 0 here. So the first trigger action here is pressed. Save and close this one. And when we go to our input again in IMC default, we can just click on the plus and let's just add the IA underscore interaction. Click on this keyboard here. In this case, you can use F. In my case, left click and spacebar. Save. So interaction is now spacebar. When we go to our RE character, let's get this one right away so we're not forgetting this. Enhance action event, interaction. And you can also like already prepare the AC, just get it here. And we need a function in order to press something. As you might remembered, when we go back to our master item, just delete all of this. Add item, destroy actor, F item to add inventory. Because this function F item to inventory, we are going to use this one within the AC inventory. So we will make another function here. This also means that you don't really need your BPIs. You don't really need to implement the BPI anymore, which is quite nice in my opinion. And we're not even casting directly to our player BP. So this is quite cool. So let's use a variable. And we call this one colliding items because we want to have a check. In this case, it's a list, an array, BP master item, an object reference, and all those items we are basically colliding with. We want to put this to an array. So we can save this one. We know in this array what kind of items are saved here. Compile and save, but this is not enough. We also need the same but as single, so the BP master item as a single, which is called item to pick up. And then also we need a boolean called, just to make sure that once we overlap with an item, that we can set this to true. So yes, now you can pick it up. And when we just leave, so on end overlap, when we are not overlapping anymore, we can just set this to false. So can pick up item, question mark, compile and save. So you have 3 variables. When we go to master item, so now when we go to our BP master item, we can now get the colliding items. So get this one, this array, right click straight connection, and the colliding items. I just want to add this to our array here, array add. So every time we just colliding with it, it gets added. So what is it? It's self, because we are inside our item. So this item here, or our children in this case, we are just creating children of our master BP, as you might remember. Then this one gets also casted to all our items, also the children. And then we can just set this. So let's get the item to pick up, but this one is not get, set item to pick up, the one we just created in our AC inventory. Because we're not just adding this one, but we also want to get our item, which is the self, and we set this item here directly as our item to pick up. So once we overlap, this item, which is self, the self reference, is now our item to pick up. Now the AC inventory has all the information here. So the AC inventory right now knows, once we collide with it, yes, this one is this particular item. This is pretty important. Okay, you can also print this if you want. So let's just use a print string and get this item to pick up. So let me just try it and just get here. And we should have, yeah, you can see BP item cube 2, 9, and you can see all the items. Yeah, so we know we have a direct reference to our cube. You can see BP item cube. Okay, this is sweet. So this is not just the master item, as you can see, is the specific item we have, which is, in this case, a children of our master item. So when we now go back, let me just delete this. And also, let me just delete most of these cubes here, because this is quite annoying. And now let's get, let's save this one as well. Let's go back. We need to do something here. Let's get out of the other actor, get component by class. Make sure you use this one. So sometimes I just forget this, and then he's like, no, there's nothing. And we need to check if this is valid. So what is valid, basically? Our item to pick up. Because now we have, as I told you before, we have information. First, we always collide, and then we have information. We set the specific item, which we just printed, to our item to pick up, which is this one here. So now, when we just leave, we also want to update our colliding items, and we want to tell Unreal Engine, hey, we cannot pick this thing up anymore. So if I want to pick it up, I need to run back, I need to go back and stay in front of this item to overlap the sphere collision, and then we can repeat this event, and then we can just add this again to our colliding items, and then we can pick it up if you want. If not, we leave. We need to make sure that we just clear. You can also use remove, but in this case, if you overlap with more than one, sorry, we need the colliding items as well, and not out of the item to pick up. Of course, we are clearing the list. You can also use remove, but you can get errors, because when you overlap with two items, of course, if you collide with only one item, it's fine to have the remove node, but you should have the clear node just to make sure when you collide with 2 or 3 items at the same time, which is pretty unusual. And when you have your game and you place your bullets there, and you place the herbal item there, and you place the something over there, it's not gonna happen anyway in the game. So in this like Resident Evil type of game, it's not going to happen anyway. But I'm just trying to make sure that we clear, because clear is more aggressive. Clear is like we clear the whole list, and this is just to make sure that we are not that the list is always clear. And because if we just close it and there's still some overlapping actor inside our list, he's like, hey, I don't know what to do. Let's now get also the boolean. I believe it was can pick up item set, and we just leave it, because when we are not in the pickup range anymore, so on end overlap, it's false. So here on end, it's false. But just copy this one. So right after, we should put it before, otherwise it's not gonna make sense anyway. So just right before that, we want, first of all, the target is AC, because this is a boolean inside our AC inventory component. And then we just want to make sure that this one is true. So we set this to true, and then of course we can add and create a reference to our item to pick up variable. Otherwise, when we just leave, we cannot pick it up anymore. Okay, compile and save. And now, in order to basically pick it up manually, you remember we did delete all those functions here. We delete everything. So we just replace this one and make a new function. We call this new function fgrab item, which is inside your AC. And now we get the colliding items, and we check the length of this list, of this array. And let me make this smaller. We check the length, and if this length is greater 0, press B and click. If this array has something inside of it, so it's greater 0, otherwise it's -1, so it's empty. -1 is empty, and positive, so above 0 is there is something inside, so we have information. So we did overlap with something. Then of course we can add. This is the only reason, or the only time we can add something to our inventory. Add inventory. We also need to make this colliding items here. So get this again. And at the same time, we clear the list again. So sometimes we are standing in front of an item, and when we leave, we clear it from our item array. But sometimes we're not just leaving, we're just grabbing, and then the event on end overlap is not really triggering. So we need to do this one when we pick up as well. So colliding items, make sure this one is cleared as well. And after this one, get the item to pick up and just destroy actor. So this is the final node, and this final node is telling us, yes, this item is gone. It's just completely removed from our world. Okay. Now we go to our BPRE character, so our player blueprint itself, and out of this AC inventory we get F grab item, but I want to make sure that we really can pick up the item. So get can pick up item, can we? Let's get a branch. So it's only true when we are overlapping with it. Here. It's only true once we overlap with it. If not, so this means when we are on end overlap, it's false. We can press Q to make it straight. Then we're not gonna do anything, of course. And also, let's not forget the can pick up item. We set this one, let's put it between the destroy actor. We also set this one to false, otherwise it's still true when we pick it up. Because there are two cases in our, there are two possible actions in our game. We either just leave the pickup range or we just pick it up. And this is why we need to set the clear and the pickup item to false also here. Okay, compile and save. And I think we should be fine. We can pick it up manually, can pick it up, open, pick it up, and okay, we're still getting an error, which is quite funny. Yeah, okay, let me get this, I believe, item to pick up. Let me just connect the AC inventory inside here and see if this was the problem. Of course we still get errors because we also forgot to set the item. Makes sense, because F add item to inventory. So what kind of item is here? It doesn't know like what you want to add. So yes, of course. So drag the pickup item, drag the item to pick up and connect it to the F add item to inventory. Totally forgot that. So when we go back, we can now see if this is working out. Can pick this up, can pick this up, two, can pick this up, can pick this one up. And now we have much less errors, and now we can take care of this one. So he's checking is the item to pick up if this is valid. So we need the is valid, but the input object doesn't seem quite fine. So the input object doesn't seem good because, let's try it again. Accessed none, so now he's trying to access the branch. Okay, let's get the AC inventory component. Let's connect that one up. So when the inventory component is valid, clear all the information regarding the colliding items. And when the AC inventory component is not valid, don't do anything. Yes, okay, that's it. Let's try another time with several items. Open. Okay, yeah, that's it. Before we end this, let's do the maximum pickup, because we can just pick up like infinite amounts. So what you can do is you get into the AC. So for maximum amount of pickup, in this case, which is 8, we can just add another integer and call it max pickup. Compile and save. And then we just get, not set, we just get the max pickup, increment this. So when we pick it up, we increment this. and then we set max pickup, and we set this new value to +1 every time we pick up. So this increment here basically adds 1 integer after every pickup now. So every time we fire this off, fgrab item, this gets increased by 1. Yes, but of course we need to have a check as well. So get max pickup. If this is less, it's starting with 0, so make sure when it's 8 we need to have 7. I know it's confusing, but it's less than 7. Let's get a branch, and let's just mark everything and collapse to macro. Let's call this macro max pickup reached. Let's go inside, and you can just drag here. This is an execute. Let's just do something like this. We check if this is true. We can do so if it's still less than 8 items in our inventory, yes, we can pick up. If not, don't do anything. So this is our macro, and let's also do a macro for this. So get this branch and these 3 nodes, right click, collapse to macro, and let's call this one, just to keep things clean, call this colliding with items. Make sure this one is clean, like so. Compile and save. So now we can just put this one here, and now it's nice and tidy. So are we colliding with items? Yes. And is the max pickup reached? In this case it must be less than 8, right? Yeah, sorry, in this case it must be less than 8. I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, sorry. So it's less than 8. Is it less than 8? Yes, then we still can pick up. Okay, so we have 2 checks. And you can also just mark all those and just right click, collapse to macro, and call this one add to max pickup. So I like to use macros for those checks to keep it nice and tidy. And you can just directly see what's going on. Ah, okay, this is this one. Yeah, okay, this is this one. Okay, so, and then let's just try it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, and you cannot pick up anything anymore, and we are not getting any errors. Okay, sweet. So this is it. I hope this episode was also quite useful for you. And the next episode we just continue to enhance our inventory, add our pistol inside the inventory. Now we're getting more and more like then into this type of like old school Resident Evil inventory system. This is the whole approach. This is the reason why I'm doing all those tutorials here, to like basically rebuild all this function we have in this old Resident Evil era from PlayStation 1. So yeah, see you in the next one.